IMF confirms receipt of India's financing assurances for Sri Lanka. The International Monetary Fund has confirmed receiving India's written financing assurance in supporting of Sri Lanka's economic revival. Reuters news agency reported while Sri Lanka's that expressed hope of completing tasks on debt restructuring in 6 months' time. We confirmed that India has indicated to the IMF management that it's committed to deliver financing debt relief consistent with restoring the sustainability of Sri Lanka's public debt under the prospective IMF program. A spokesperson of the IMF who welcomed India's assurance was quoted as saying, meanwhile, speaking at an event in Colombia on Tuesday, Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, P. Nandalal Veerasinghe, said, there has been good progress in this month with India already pledging finance assurances. We expect assurances from China and Japan soon. Following last year's debilitating economic crash, Sri Lanka decided to seek IMF assistance and reached a staff level agreement in September 2022. Although the Ranil Wickremesinghe government said an IMF program would likely kick in before the year ended. Its negotiations with creditors dragged on for months. On January 16th, India became the island Indian nation's first official creditors. China, Japan, and India are Sri Lanka's three largest bilateral creditors to send written financing assurance to the IMF, strongly supporting Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plan. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, who was in Colombia last week, said India chose to do what was right rather than wait for other creditors. China's offer. The fund provisional package of 2.9 billion will be approved by its board following similar written assurances from China and Japan. Amid speculation over the top two creditors' moves, the Export Import Bank of China wrote to the Sri Lanka Finance Minister offering a 2-year moratorium on its debt in support of Sri Lanka's economic revival efforts. Local media reports said, however, the top Chinese bank's offer is not the same as written assurance to the IMF that the necessary for the funds board to approve the provisional package of Sri Lanka. A top source based in Colombo said Beijing is yet to make any official remarks in this regard. The IMF has noted that Sri Lanka is currently engaged with China and Japan to obtain them. As soon as adequate assurances are obtained and remaining requirements are met, including by the Sri Lanka authorities, a fund-raised support program for Sri Lanka can be presented to the IMF Executive Board of approval that would unlock much needed financing, its spokesperson has said. Debt restructuring process. According to a senior official familiar with the development, both the IMF and Sri Lanka government have agreed that none of the official lenders would take a haircut while giving Sri Lanka time to recover with an IMF program. Once the IMF board approves the package, the countries will hold official bilateral negotiations to work with the restructuring plan for their respective loans, the official told.